Nobody likes the Wicked, and nobody seems to want more of Cynthia Erivo's career. Go away, helicopter. Go away, paparazzi. Oh, wait, you don't have to wave at them. There's nobody left. Today we'll tell you why a latest interview gives us an idea of just how bereft Cynthia's future is, and maybe even Ariana Grande's. Wicked 3? Say goodbye, indeed. This franchise is toast. Well, it turns out, folks, that when you act like a bunch of weird celebrities, people don't want to tune in to your movies anymore. And that's just what has happened to poor Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Today, we'll go into just how dire it is and why Wicked, what was once perceived as one of the biggest girl brands on the planet, has been dumped in the dumpster forever. It's no good, it's no bueno, but we'll go there, smash the like button, and off we go. Things are crashing all over Hollywood, and one of those things is Wicked 3, or any spin-off for Wicked. Do you all remember what they were saying just so few months ago? November 21st of 2025, just as after the movie had released, Wicked 3, a new Oz movie, is being worked on following for Good's release. Wicked is the 2003 stage musical. Everybody knows that. What do we know about Wicked 3? Speaking with the Inkler, Schwartz revealed that he and Holtzman are already working on another project set in Oz. Quote, "What I will tell you without giving away too much is that Winnie Holtzman and I are doing some work right now on ideas that aren't a sequel to Wicked, but because I think Glinda and Elphaba's story feels complete, but there are other aspects that could be explored." Went on to talk about all the things that could be done, and people were demanding it. You got to give us Wicked 3. You got to give us a spinoff. We got to see a prequel. Tell us what happened, Well, guess what? That's all gone. Just a few months later now, from thatparkplace.com by Cham Lee, Cynthia Erivo shuts down Wicked 3 talks. I'm here to tell you, I don't think Cynthia is the one shutting it down. Let's talk about it. Cynthia Erivo has responded to ongoing speculation about a possible Wicked 3. The actor recently made it clear that she wants to move beyond constant discussion surrounding the franchise. During an appearance on Variety's Know Their Lines video series, Erivo as some say, but they're incorrect, she declined several prompts related to the Wicked movies. Producers asked her to revisit lines and musical moments from the films, but she refused some of the requests. She explained that she'd spent the last 2 years talking about the project and wanted to focus on other work. She said that as far as a sequel, quote, "It's too soon to even begin to have a conversation about it. It would take a lot to get me back to do it. It has to make sense." Now, why is she downplaying this when she and Ariana, we believe, just had such a great groovy time? Well, what if I told you the numbers reveals the case? Many had said that Wicked, both the first and second, should have been billion-dollar films because of the popularity of the franchise. And the first film, even despite the terrible marketing, still managed to make more than $700 million. But the decline was real for Wicked for Good. And when we look at the box office charting, this is what I believe has terrified Hollyweird. This was front-loaded. The people, they showed up, they came to see it, the mega fans, the super fans, and then this thing flatlined. This thing flatlined before the end of November and made no more money. In fact, the drop-offs are crazy. Only 58% at first, but then 72, 51, 43, 39, 69, 70, 51. My, oh my. By the end of this thing, it was making $5 million, $3 million, $1 million, and they had to carry it out of theaters. So Cynthia can say whatever she wants to say, but Marv, I think probably more impressive to me would be the argument that her career is kind of done. Ariana, maybe not so much, but the weirdness of these two actresses, I think, killed the franchise and ended any talk of a sequel now.
Look, she is the ultimate wackadoodle, right? I mean, she was absolutely atrocious from the moment that she was announced to be Elphaba. When she exploded at that fan who did the edit of the poster to hide her eyes a little bit and called it the wildest, most offensive thing she had ever seen. And then, we got more of her attacking the fans. We got her and Ariana with their weird, bony, clutching at each other moments in all of the interviews, the helicopter freak out. And then she just did this interview with Variety, just the worst interview I've ever read, where she said that the reason why people reacted negatively to her on this tour was because of the horrible way that we treat black women. And I was just like, it has nothing to do with the color of your skin and everything to do with your actions, with just how weird you are. And she does not I had Wizard thought she had alopecia. because she's talking about people reacting to her appearance, and I'm like, she chooses to look like that. She does not have alopecia. This is a choice. The nails, the bald head, it's all a choice. And it's a choice that she's almost daring you to have a problem with. And then she became the, well, we want to get rage clicks on this. So we're doing Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. No one's going to go to it unless we make Cynthia Erivo Jesus Christ and then broadcast that loud, and then everybody will talk about it. She has become the one that they go to when they need the rage clicks, and that does not make a long-term career.
Yeah, and the other problem is that it's then conflated, right? So when people are offended by the Jesus Christ Superstar musical starring her with the nails and it really had demonic imagery, then the claim is, oh, well, you just hate black women.
Yep.
And then that actually disgusts people more, but because that tactic doesn't work at all.
So I remember when she was asked about the reaction to her playing Jesus, she was like, oh, who cares? It's a musical. It's the gayest place ever. Come on, I'm going to sing my face off.
Right. Sang her career off, I would say. And,
she did, Carol, and she almost sank Ariana with her, but thankfully I think Ariana's going to rally.
Carol, if we look at the opportunity cost, which is always a number I find interesting, people don't want to often talk about it, but if both of these films were supposed to be $1 billion return on investments, if, you know, the first one made slightly over 700 and then the next one made slightly over 500, so that is what, a 800, we'll call it 700 so we can round down, $700 million gap between what could have been and what is because of the antics of Cynthia Erivo and then Ariana Grande playing the chameleon with her. So, Carol, it's not surprising to me that Wicked is done, that they actually wiped the franchise out.
I don't even think it needed a sequel. I'm of the mind that sometimes one movie is enough, but because Hollywood is so desperate for money, if something takes off, well, instead of just marketing that and letting it thrive on its own, they have to like move into making sequels, and you know nobody really asked for that, or except for like a loud minority, we'll say it that way, who think it's great. And I know like the depiction of these two actresses as they've gone out into interviews has been particularly strange. Like I've been watching like their body language, and it feels like they're trying to like tell a story behind the story with the both of them, and it's just weird. Like all of it is. You know, if they are best friends, I hope they stay best friends, but I think best friends don't have to keep working on this franchise anymore. They can go and do some other things.
Well,
go away, helicopter.
Well, the thing that she wanted next was she wanted Storm. She wanted X-Men. And the last thing Marvel needs is to hitch its wagon to Gross Ferratu.
Yeah. How did we not come up? How long has that been going?
Kevin Apollo came up with it. So I can't take credit for it, but we've
I'm
been
so disappointed in us that we didn't. We got to get Kevin on the writing team. We got Gross Ferratu was sitting there for 6 months and we didn't take it. Oh man!
Look, Pro, you had the numbers up a minute ago. Yeah, it's telling the helicopter to go away. It's such a weird thing.
Not the time, helicopter.
Not the time, helicopter.
It's very strange. But look, the Wicked for Good film cost them $150 million to make. They spent $100 million in global marketing just for that film alone.
Right. So this one is essentially a break even. Like nobody made money. It's just a break even.
I'm not even sure it's a break even, Pro. I mean, if you take a look at, the earnings from, here in the States, I mean, it would kind of indicate that. But international, depending upon where it was popular, they may not have pulled 50% out of those other locations. So it's when I evaluate something like this, I go, okay, well, so $250 million per film, which is essentially what they spent for each of these individually between marketing and the production costs. The first one made money. The second one, I could argue maybe it didn't make money. Maybe it made.
I'm not saying it made money. I'm saying it broke even, and I'm saying that investors always want like a minimum 8% return on investment. I mean, that's the minimum. I mean, that's. Okay, so here's the deal, and people don't understand this about entertainment. If you invest into making a movie, now you don't have to invest into a movie. Let's get in the weeds right now in a way that we don't typically talk about. Okay, everybody's going to come away smarter for this. You don't have to invest in a movie. All right, Hollywood doesn't have to invest in movies. Hollywood could invest all that money, the hundreds of millions of dollars, into a stock or into an ETF. They can literally invest it into the S&P 500. And they got a pretty good idea of over time what the return is going to be. So if they're going to invest in a movie, that movie has to have a return on investment that exceeds the general market return, or else there was no point in investing in the first place. So Star Wars, for example, when that loses money, That's really, really bad. But it's bad enough to not make the market return on investment, which would be if you invest in the S&P 500, probably, 7-8% per year. So you've got to exceed that to have made it worth your time to have all this stress, because a movie takes years and marketing, and you've got to hire 1,000 people and all this. And you know what it takes? You know what it takes to invest into the Spider S&P 500 ETF or whatever? Click a button.
Yeah.
Sit on it for a year.
I'm going to click a button on the public offering for Elon here soon. But
Whoa. No financial advice
we're not
being
giving any
given.
advice. I'm just saying. But I'll say
all that to say, if it doesn't get a return on investment of at least 8%, it's a total waste of time for these people.
It's not worth it. And look, I mean, you're losing a lot of ground to inflation. We've had that conversation multiple times before. Not to mention the fact that if a film is delayed in its release, that costs money every month in the form of interest, because Hollywood's not using their money. They're using the financiers' money. And that's the other thing that's the dirty little secret here. But when we talk specifically about Wicked, and I'm glad that Marvin and others have written articles on this, the prequel was the film that was going to come out next, the Galinda thing. In fact, I believe the book is being released in September this year for that. So if they've actually drug this to the curb and, put it out with the trash, then good for them, because I think they realized that the bandwagon for this was limited to one film, and that was it.
That's it. And I'm going to say that it's not because of Wicked. I'm going to say it's because of Cynthia. And so when Cynthia says, I'm not really, they didn't take a lot to get me back, I think what she's really saying is nobody's calling me back. And folks, let the credits roll for this one. Well, it is in the bank. We are done here. We're over and out. But before we go, there's one thing we must shout to you, and we do it in the kindest way possible. Folks, it would be such a pleasure if you could consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and that notification bell. Click it, stick it to the algorithms. You bet. Don't forget also, as you get ready to leave, drop a comment down below if you have not yet, for we would love to know what's on your mind. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. Join a community dialogue. Folks, as we get ready to leave, we say to you, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and no matter what the world might do or what your station might be, up or down, you keep having fun.